Yo, here. No, he's hacking.
Welcome to everyone to Sauce Time Gaming. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video once again. And today on episode 9 of our Recoil Breakdown series, we will be covering the ITRA burst or the Itra burst. And despite the accusation I got right there, this isn't quite the most overpowered weapon out there, but it is definitely tons of fun. It's got great mobility, and of course we have a couple of zero recoil builds ready for you today. Even a build that flexibilizes your perk 3 slot. Before we get into things, I want to remind you that timestamps are below for your convenience around the video, and with that said, let's get right into the testing. So the things to note about the Itra are, first, the obvious burst factor, which will not make this the easiest weapon to use and get kills with, but it is a cool thing, and it is a 4 bullet burst instead of the more common 3 bullet burst, so it makes it a little bit more interesting or dynamic to use. The mobility, as I said earlier, is awesome, and I would say it's probably second in speed to the Voltstrom Gever, but that stat is pretty much just how it felt when I was using it. I'm not claiming that that's actually statistically correct, but a couple of other negative points for the Itra is the fact that it has a lot of idle sway, which makes it harder to maintain accuracy at range, and its reload speed feels slower than other assault rifles. Again, this is just a feel factor. This is not statistically, I'm not saying that that's statistically the case, but despite those things, the Itra is very fun to use, and it just adds an extra challenge to your everyday gunfights. And of course, we found a zero recoil build as well as 2 very low recoil and dynamic builds that we're going to check out right now. So for the first build we have here, we're capitalizing completely on recoil control attachments. So let's talk about each one here. The barrel, we're running the body 270mm barrel. Now, this is just to get maximum advantage of headshot damage. However, you can run the body 300mm as well. The problem with this one is that it reduces your body damage, but the recoil pattern is pretty much the same, and if it's negligible, it's something you probably won't even be able to notice. So in this setup, we're running this one here. We're running the Carver foregrip for maximum recoil control. The bipod, which tends to be a favorite here on the channel, really doesn't make that much of a difference because it's already a zero recoil weapon, and the base recoil pattern doesn't really give you as much. So I'd rather run the Carver foregrip here. It just felt better. The .33 or the .303 British 32 round mag, we just want maximum fire rate as much as possible because it's a burst weapon and we want to get those bursts out as fast as possible. Lengthened is a necessity because of the type of ammo we're using. This magazine reduces your bullet velocity, so lengthened compensates for that. We're running the Pine Tar grip, again, capitalizing on recoil control, gives you a little bit of hip fire accuracy. Aim down sight speed, it doesn't affect you as much. This weapon is very fast at aim down sight, so you'd be fine in that department. Hard scope is definitely what tightens things up very nicely. Fully loaded, that's just my personal opinion. The Perfetto padded grip here gives you the best recoil control, flinch resistance, and the recoil recovery, which recenters your weapon as fast as possible when you're done with the first burst, right? So the optic is anything you would want to run. I've been running the M38 Slate. This one has felt fantastic. And in the muzzle department, you can go for 2 different routes here. You can silence your weapon, but this is not going to increase your fire rate any further. Or you can go for the recoil booster, which makes this feel fantastic, but I can understand that playstyles can be different. So either one of these are a great option for you, and they will not affect your recoil pattern in any noticeable way. And there you have the first recoil control build and the zero recoil build as well. For our second build here, we built the weapon out for maximum aiming stability because, as we said at the beginning, the weapon has a lot of idle sway. The weird thing about this is that even stacking every single sort of aiming stability attachment, it doesn't really feel like it's reducing the idle sway in any way. So that rhymed for some reason. But so the real thing is that even when we added all these things together, it didn't necessarily feel like it reduced the idle sway. However, it did reduce the overall recoil very much, which was weird, but we went with it, right? So we're running the body 270mm here. You can run this one as well. It depends on how accurate you are with the weapon. So either one of these barrels is a great option. The M1930 Strife Angled, going to give you the aiming stability and aim walking steadiness. Again, the .303 British 32 round mags, lengthened to compensate for the bullet velocity, hard scope to tighten up that spread, perfecto padded grip for the best recoil control. The sight is up to you as well. Perk 2 is up to you too. And now we get to the rear grip, which makes this weapon very interesting and very flexible because the taped grip gives you aiming stability and it helps your weapon swap quickness. Now, because this weapon already moves so quickly and just handles so quickly and so well, when you're using this, you're pretty much getting the amped perk in this attachment, which feels fantastic because with other weapons, the weapon swap quickness doesn't feel as good. But with the Itra burst, it feels fantastic. So this one gives you the flexibility of changing your perk 3 slot up. You can run combat scout, maybe tracker, battle hardened, whatever you want to do. It's a fantastic fit to spice things up in the perk 3 department. So I'm running the PPSH here with the tight grip, quick, pine tar, and the weapon swap here feels fantastic. I'm not even using something for weapon swap on the PPSH. So trust me, try this build out for the Itra burst and run whatever SMG you want, and you're gonna feel like you're running amped without running it. With that said, the muzzle is, again, same scenario. You can run the MX Silencer or the Recoil Booster, whatever your playstyle is. But let me know in the comment section down below if you felt the great benefit of the taped grip with the Itra burst, because it is by far the best weapon I've seen take advantage of the weapon swap quickness. And there is the second build. For the final build we have for you today, this is the all-rounder Itra burst. To be very honest with you, it's got fantastic mobility. The fire rate is maximized because we're running the recoil booster here for the fire rate. We're running the Perfetto 140mm Rapida barrel for more fire rate. We're running the M1941 hand stop so it doesn't reduce our aim down sight speed like the Carver foregrip does. It also gives us maximum movement if we need it, and it also gives us the recoil control. We're running the .303 British 32 round mags. The 8mm, I've tried them in a lot of setups, but the reduced fire rate in a burst weapon just doesn't feel like you're really able to get someone down quick enough before they get cover. So this is likely the best way to go in all scenarios. Lengthened to compensate for the bullet velocity. Stippled grip tape here just so we don't get any downside and we're getting that recoil recovery for the best recoil control, as well as the initial fire and recoil when we're shooting every burst. The hard scope perk to reduce it as much as possible. The body D2 grip for the horizontal recoil control, because when you increase the fire rate, it tends to start kicking one side or the other. So you want to reduce the horizontal as much as possible so you're able to get the recoil pattern in the clip, and it reduces your aim down sight speed as well. It reduces your movement speed, but to be honest, this weapon flies anyway. So yeah, you can run whatever optic you want. I tried a couple of low zoom optics and the monocular reflector felt fantastic for close and even long range engagements, which was surprising. And I know there are a couple of reticles in the zombies category that hopefully they make available to us that are very clean, and we can run these for some longer range engagements if we do want to use it as such. And perk 2, fully loaded probably makes sense, but there you have what has been so far my favorite Itra burst build, and I hope you enjoy it as well. And there you have it, the 3 best Itra burst builds. 0 recoil, close to 0 recoil, and the best close, mid, and long range all-rounder build. That's a long title. If you did enjoy today's video and you do find value in this series, let me know by clicking on that like button and leaving a comment saying thank you somehow, as I really appreciate it and it helps with getting this video out to more people. I hope you recommend this to a friend in need if they are looking for good builds that are tried, tested, and true. And if you want to watch all the regulars for Sauce Time Gaming, then just subscribe to the channel. It is free for you, and I would truly appreciate that we continue growing on the channel. So, we have concluded episode 9 of the Recoil Breakdown series, and I thank you truly if you have reached this point of the video. With nothing else left to say, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. That rhymed as well. And check out the best Type 11 builds at the end of this video. And until then, always remember, Sauce Time Gaming.